go.
For those of you who have been wondering how to implement a very simple, cost-effective and functional gripper for a BoeBot that is made available by Parallax, which looks like this pretty much. We have a gripper assembly here which works almost every time flawlessly, and it needs only one servo motor for actuation. And this servo motor, as you can see, is not at all visible in the body or the structure of the BoeBot, which makes it extremely good looking and simple. Let us just look at how the gripper is being implemented. We have a structure up front which looks like this, very simple with its flashy color, and we have a small notch up front since we'll be using this gripper primarily for lifting purposes. We have a pivot that we manufactured using aluminum. Even the gripper arm is made out of aluminum. We have a pivot point which houses a pin to hold the pivot, and at a mounting that goes on the frame, which looks like that. Another view. Now this goes on straight to the body of the BoeBot, the chassis of the BoeBot, and we have a small pulling mechanism made out of a wire which runs underneath the microcontroller board, the board of education that comes along with the BoeBot, and this goes down through the holes provided on the chassis and comes out right here, which has been mounted, which has been connected to the servo motor like this. And this servo motor that we are using has also been provided by Parallax, and this is a position control servo motor, and there is a small flywheel that we have attached to the servo motor, modified it slightly to house this rigid wire. This wire has been bent so that it goes into one of those holes, and just by actuation you can move the gripper arm. As you can see, it's very simple and no modification is required to the chassis of the BoeBot. Once you remove this, the BoeBot will be just as you got it before. Now let's just see how the BoeBot functions. The gripper arm assembly is made solely for lifting a block just like this. As you can see, a small disadvantage that we have with the gripper is the height that we need to maintain constantly. The gripper picks up at a clearance shown here pretty much, and this is why we have built a custom base to house the block that we intend to lift. Now just turning it on, you can see that the BoeBot has a lifting clearance of maybe about an inch, which is sufficient to lift this block. The block has been custom manufactured also to be able to be cleared off of the block when it's being lifted. You have to be very careful to make it as light as it can be, just to avoid situations where the BoeBot, due to the center of gravity of the BoeBot, it may not be lifted off. Like if you give it too much pressure, it might actually come off when it's running. Well, this is the simple operation that you can see. Now, just by using good programming, you will be able to maintain the gripper arm at any position you desire. Like right now, it's been lifted off. Now, just by leaving, having a good moving algorithm, you can move the block with let's do that again. You can actually move it, and you can see that it will carry it without jolt. Thank you for watching the video.